Sardinia is the second largest island in the Mediterranean Sea and an autonomous region of Italy, which goes by the official name of Regione Autonoma della Sardegna, Regione Autonoma di Sardegna. The nearest land masses are the island of Corsica, the Italian peninsula, Sicily, Tunisia, the Balearic Islands, and Provence. The Tyrrhenian Sea portion of the Mediterranean Sea is directly to the east of Sardinia between the Sardinian east coast and the west coast of the Italian mainland peninsula. The Strait of Bonifacio is directly north of Sardinia and separates Sardinia from the French island of Corsica. The region has its capital in its largest city, Cagliari, and is divided into 8 provinces. Its indigenous language and the other minority languages enjoy equal dignity with Italian each in the concerned territory by a regional law. Etymology: the name Sardinia is from the pre-Roman noun *sard, romanized as Sardis. That the name had a religious connotation is suggested from its use also as the adjective for the ancient Sardinian mythological hero god Sardis Pater, Sardinian father, as well as being the stem of the adjective sardonic. Sardinia was called Agnusa, Sandalian, Sardinia and Sardo by the Romans and the ancient Greeks. Geography: Sardinia is the second largest island in the Mediterranean Sea, with an area of 23,821 square kilometers. It is situated between 38 degrees 51 and 41 degrees 15 latitude north and 8 degrees 8 and 9 degrees 50 east longitude. To the west of Sardinia is the Sea of Sardinia, a unit of the Mediterranean Sea. To Sardinia's east is the Tyrrhenian Sea, which is also an element of the Mediterranean Sea. The coasts of Sardinia are generally high and rocky, with long, relatively straight stretches of coastline, many outstanding headlands, a few wide, deep bays, reefs, many inlets and with various smaller islands off the coast. The island has an ancient geoformation and, unlike Sicily and mainland Italy, is not earthquake-prone. Its rocks date from the Paleozoic era. Due to long erosion processes, the island's highlands, formed of granite, schist trachyte, basalt, sandstone and dolomite limestone, average at between 300 to 1,000 meters. The highest peak is Punta La Marmara, part of the Gennargentu Ranges in the center of the island. Other mountain chains are Monte Limbara, in the northeast, the chain of Margina and Goshena, running crosswise for 40 kilometers towards the north, the Monte Albo, the Set Fratelli Range in the southeast, and the Sulcis Mountains and the Monte Linas. The island's ranges and plateau are separated by wide alluvial valleys and flatlands, the main ones being the Campodano in the southwest between Oristano and Cagliari and the Nurra in the northwest. Sardinia has few major rivers, the largest being the Tirsa, 151 kilometers long, which flows into the Sea of Sardinia, the Coghinas and the Flumendosa. There are 54 artificial lakes and dams that supply water and electricity. The main ones are Lake Omodio and Lake Coghinas. The only natural freshwater lake is Lago di Baratz. A number of large, shallow, saltwater lagoons and pools are located along the 1,850 kilometers of the coastline. Climate: the island has a Mediterranean climate along the coasts, plains, and low hills and a continental climate on the interior plateaus, valleys and mountain ranges. During the year there are approximately 135 days of sunshine, with a major concentration of rainfall in the winter and autumn, some heavy showers in the spring and snowfalls in the highlands. The average temperature is between 11 to 17 degrees Celsius, with mild winters and hot summers on the coast in January, 23 to 26 degrees Celsius in July, and cold winters and cool summers on the mountains in January, 16 to 20 degrees Celsius in July. Rainfall has a Mediterranean distribution all over the island, with almost totally rainless summers and wet autumns, winters and springs. However, in summer, the rare rainfalls can be characterized by short but severe thunderstorms, which can cause flash floods. The climate is also heavily influenced by the vicinity of the Gulf of Genoa and the relative proximity of the Atlantic Ocean. Low pressures in autumn can generate the formation of the so-called medicanes, extratropical cyclones which affect the Mediterranean basin. In 2013, the island was hit by several cyclones, included the cyclone Cleopatra, which dumped almost 18 inches of rainfall within an hour and a half. Sardinia being relatively large and hilly, weather is not uniform. In particular, the east is drier, but paradoxically it suffers the worst rainstorms. In autumn 2009, it rained more than 200 mm in a single day in Siniscola, and the 19th of November 2013. Locations in Sardinia were reported to have received more than 431 mm within 2 hours. The western coast has a higher distribution of rainfalls even for modest elevations, average annual precipitation 815 mm. The driest part of the island is the coast of Cagliari Gulf, with less than 450 mm per year. The minimum is at Capo Carbonara at the extreme southeast of the island 381 mm. And the wettest is the top of the Gennargentu mountain with almost 1,500 mm per year. The average for the entire island is about 800 mm per year, which is more than enough for the needs of the population and vegetation. The mistral from the northwest is the dominant wind on and off throughout the year, though it is most prevalent in winter and spring. It can blow quite strongly, but it is usually dry and cool and makes for a sailor's paradise.